Josh, where's the campsite? It's coming up just ahead over there.
Are you scared of the dark?
Absolutely. Yeah. But I'm with my friends. I'm okay.
Are you? Field of Geeks presents
The Super Unknown. I'm Josh.
I'm Juan.
And I'm Dave.
The world's largest geographical mystery is the Bermuda Triangle, which is our subject for today. Gentlemen, when did you first hear about the Bermuda Triangle?
I don't know really when it came up. I think it was just kind of one of those kind of urban legends that you just kind of circle around and then you hear about. I mean, it was probably when I was a kid, like on the playground, somebody was like, "Oh my God, have you heard of the Bermuda Triangle?" And you were like, "What?" I don't know. But I tell you what, like having like researched it a little bit, and I mean, I kind of found this out like maybe a year or so ago. It's a lot farther north than I thought it would. I don't know why I always thought it was like, kind of more towards South America, but like it was like one of the corners of the triangle is Miami.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the points are Bermuda, Florida, and Puerto Rico, and they're also known as the Devil's Triangle.
That means 66% of it is kind of American control.
Yes, conspiracy, right?
Yeah. It's just out there, isn't it?
Well, I always thought it was like some kind of dimensional gate or something. Like
It could be.
you go through Bermuda and you're in another dimension where it's like ran by furries or something. I don't know.
It's almost on the same line as like Atlanta. That's how far north it is. It's not. So if you draw like a straight line, it's not that much further south than Atlanta. It's almost like in a straight line with Charleston, like maybe just slightly south of Charleston, South Carolina, it's actually north of Savannah.
Really?
Like it's further north than Hawaii, like quite a ways. Like if you draw a line from Bermuda, it's almost in line with Montgomery, Alabama. Like it's way north.
Wow.
I guess I just didn't know.
Interesting. That puts it in perspective, though, where it's located. It's always been this mysterious, area that I didn't really think much about. I've heard things about it. Obviously, a lot of disappearances, with planes and ships in that area. A lot of theories as to certain people who've disappeared over the years. Like, this whole concept has gotten into, pop culture. A lot of mysterious things in movies sometimes are explained, like the person who went to the Bermuda Triangle. It's still a mystery as to if it's real or not, Like if there's really something there that's causing things to happen. Bermuda Triangle actually was coined in 1964, that phrase. Charles Berlitz, he wrote the 74 book, The Bermuda Triangle. He believed in Atlantis, Aquaman's, fallen city, if you will.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa, he knows what's going on. But yeah, he thought Atlantis was connected to the triangle, and other theorized off of that theory, thinking that Atlantis lies below that portion of the sea, and crystal energies sink the ships and planes. But others think it's like time portals, underwater alien bases, pockets of flammable methane gas known to exist in large quantities under the sea. And I guess there's been some compass variations as well. Lots say it's pure fabrication. Some of these instances weren't investigated thoroughly, so there are some, holes in the stories. It's definitely a place I wouldn't want to fly over or take a ship through, if you will.
You're not coming back, Josh. You're not coming back.
Right. What are your guys' thoughts on this whole phenomenon? I mean, you think it's possible that something's going on there, or most of these reports are just BS?
It's been decades, bro, of missing things that it's got to be something to it,
Yeah.
It's just been so long. I mean, usually something's like a fad and then people forget about it. Oh, yeah, I remember that one time they think used to happen there. Bermuda Triangle's got like a reputation for just being you're basically going bye bye.
Yeah. Don't go there.
Yeah, it's no return.
I guess it's heavily traveled by cruise ships and cargo ships right now, and logically more ships would sink in that area than less traveled areas, so that could also be like an explanation. It's it's heavily traveled. I guess in 1945, 5 U.S. Navy planes and 14 men disappeared in that area while doing a routine training exercise, and the flight's leader at the time said over radio, "We are entering white water. Nothing seems right. We don't know where we are. The water is green, no white." They were never seen again, and the U.S. Navy investigated it, and they found the cause to be unknown. It wasn't until the mid-1980s, 25 small planes disappeared while passing through the triangle, and they were never seen again or any wreckage spotted. Large passenger planes often fly through the Bermuda Triangle as well, and none disappear. You can actually track the flights live online.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I mean, like, maybe it doesn't happen as much as it used to because we got satellites, we got ways to navigate a little bit better.
Right.
It just seems like that we would know what to do with that situation better nowadays.
With the compass variations, which have been kind of debunked and proven, I guess, I don't know if that has anything to do with how satellites work as well. Even with all the advanced tech we have, there still could be like maybe a magnetic field there that's going to disrupt any instruments we use. So who's to say it's really accurate what we're seeing, or I don't know. It's, there's endless possibilities. It is a fascinating, maybe incautious tale to maybe not even approach, I guess, if you're just an ordinary person. But, if people are traveling it, then maybe it's not really a thing. I don't know. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of like anything else. It's, it's because I don't know if there's any scientific proof that there's any more, sinkings or that than anywhere else in the world, or anywhere else in the ocean. I think it's just like everything. It's just got kind of they had a great marketing campaign behind it.
Yeah.
You're like, ooh, Bermuda Triangle. And it's like, it sounds fancy.
The Devil's Triangle.
Like, yes. Yeah, and it's like, ooh, and it's just, how many ships are there everywhere else in the world? That
True.
Are sunk. At this point in history, they're everywhere. So, I mean, I don't doubt that there's something. I mean, I was looked at something and it said that there's, there was something about there's kind of an alignment of true north and magnetic north there that might, kind of make things go weird.
Yeah.
And then also the area is known for kind of quickly developing storms that also dissipate really quickly. That's the thing. Is I don't know. I think it's a combination of there's been obviously a few accidents, and then people always love to kind of put something kind of supernatural to something that's maybe not so much of the supernatural.
True.
That's fair. That makes sense.
But I wonder if the evidence was studied like physically before the people wrote about it, like were those people brought to that particular area because of the fascination? Did they explore further the north deviations, if you will, trying to prove it was not true, or it came before? I mean, back then, I don't think this author had access to all that stuff. I mean, you have to go to a damn library to research something, right? So,
right.
Unless he knew someone who was in the Navy, perhaps, and. But
I have a good friend named Siri.
Yeah. When Siri was actually a human, alive.
Yeah, Siri's a chick.
Well, I just wonder if they've ever taken a sub down there to find the wreckage. Like, could they take a sub, or is it too shallow for a sub? Maybe.
Actually, I think some of it is reported to have extremely deep sections of it. So like they could have fallen down like one of the trenches in the area, and those go for a long way down.
Right. And subs are huge, so it might be hard to maneuver to, well, not, I guess I'm thinking of a big sub, but like, yeah, there's little subs like, James Cameron. I could see his ass going down there.
Here's a real question for both of you. If you had an opportunity to take a cruise to Bermuda, would you take it?
Sure.
Doesn't go through the triangle though, right? Because I mean, people go to Bermuda all the time.
That area.
Yeah.
Well, if you started in Miami, and then it like kind of went, yeah, it would go. You'd kind of inevitably have to go.
Would you go, Dave? Would you take the cruise?
Yeah, sure.
If we stay clear of the triangle, I'll take it.
Oh, Josh, where's your sense of adventure?
I don't have a sense of adventure. You have to have a spine for that. I'm a chicken shit.
No, I'd go for sure. I'll be. No, I think it'd be fun.
Dave's brave. You both are brave. You'd probably put me to sleep, just drag me on board and some luggage or something. Like he'll be fine.
Right. Like BA from
yes.
A-Team.
Yeah, flying in cruise ships.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I figure you're probably just as likely to sink anywhere else.
True.
Like, I mean, shit, I would suspect. I mean, depending on the time of year, right? If it's like hurricane season, it'd be like, maybe not. If it's not hurricane season, I would probably do that more than I would do an Alaskan cruise, because there's big fuck chunks of ice like floating around in Alaska.
Like Titanic too, yeah, that would be terrible.
Right, and it's just like, you can hit one of those. I know the outcome of hitting an iceberg. Whereas if it's relatively tame,
never good.
No. No. So I mean, if it's like right now, like or like the beginning of the year where there's not really hurricanes, cool.
Yeah.
Would you go in September? Probably not.
Yeah, if I would go, it'd have to be like great weather conditions for sure.
Yeah, conditions were perfect.
And maybe a jetpack, if I had a jetpack available. See you, suckers. I'll write about you.
You guys and your hurricanes.
Who's a pussy now, Juan and Dave? Huh?
I mean, I've already lived through one derecho.
True. Yeah, man,
Inland
that was
hurricane.
Yeah.
That was some bullshit.
You don't want to fuck with oceans or living in Iowa, apparently.
No. Hey, and guess what I just learned? Bermuda is a British territory.
So we don't earn it.
So technically, I can go live and work there.
You bastard.
Oh, because you're Canadian.
No, because I'm British.
Oh, yeah.
So that's good for me.
Dave is an international man of mystery, people.
I'm pretty sure that Dave's a spy.
He wears exactly what Austin Powers wears. It's odd, but he rocks it, man.
Baby.
He makes it work.
Yeah.
I would say Austin Powers without the chest hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Austin Powers was based on you. There you go. The more you know. But yeah, you're right. You're right, though. I just read, because I was curious about submarines, and they said submarines have been operating through the Bermuda Triangle and have returned to their base ports all fit and fine. Royal Navy submarines, they've had no issues with the Bermuda Triangle, even in the early 50s, looks like. But I'm just curious if submarines have ever found any wreckage down there, because that's odd too. But of course, underwater, there's clashes of currents and things like that. So if it's this triangle effect, then it's probably maybe impossible to really look around down there. I mean, I'm just guessing, because it's like you would think they'd be like, hey, it's all down here, guys,
I think that's wrong. Tupac's hiding out at him and Elvis.
So let me ask you this. The whole, Plato, they're like, oh, it could be the lost city of Atlantis.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
correct me if I'm wrong, but Plato was a Greek, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But was he prophetic? Or am I missing something?
But he claims to have actually seen the city of Atlantis. How did he see it if it was over by like Miami?
Through the power of the mind. James.
Well,
Through the power of the mind.
at the time when he
went there,
at the time when he claimed, though, was it because people believe Atlantis was actually on the surface, right? And then over time it sank, or continents rose or whatever, right? Maybe.
well, it sank within a day. Is the story?
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, Plato said he went and saw the city. He saw it. He was like, wow, super advanced. They got all this cool shit. They've got wireless controllers when it was like still back in the NES days, when you had corded controllers.
Wow.
And he was like, yeah. So he's like, everything's wireless and Bluetooth and shit.
Well, and they had
boom.
they had no scuba gear back then, so holy fuck. Like,
No, but like what I'm saying is if he's a Greek, how does he know what's going on over by kind of Miami, Bermuda area?
right.
So I don't believe it's Atlantis is there.
Well, shit, America wasn't even discovered yet, so
No.
we didn't even know what the fuck was out there.
Well, I mean, we didn't have any kind of Western civilization.
Right.
Kind of come to the New World, quote unquote. I mean, there was, I think it was the Mongolians or kind of, or their descendants had crossed over kind of that land bridge over in the Bering Strait kind of eons ago. But the Vikings didn't make it to kind of Canada and all that kind of shit until whenever they were up and around, maybe like 1000 BC or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so no, I don't think the whole Atlantis thing, that doesn't check out for me.
But it may be.
I wouldn't I wouldn't discredit the fact that there could have been a city that maybe there was an earthquake and it like on a fault line and it just kind of broke off and kind of fell into the sea.
Right.
Mermaids, man. Mermaids.
Well, I mean, they say all the time though, our ocean, there's like a high rate of exploration we haven't even cracked.
Oh yeah, no, we know nothing about it.
I mean, hey, don't get me wrong, I love space and traveling out there, but it's like, why don't we explore what we have here, man? Like, fucking ocean's mysterious. There's so much shit down there that's, it's just...
Right, yeah. There's, Christ, they've got like a helicopter, like a little drone on Mars.
Yeah.
Why don't we start looking at,
And that's cool.
Here?
Yeah, that's cool. I dig that, but it's like, we have an ocean, man. Like, it's like if Mars was right here, but we want to go look at another planet. It's like, what about this sucker right here? Yeah, I just looked it up. It's more than 80% of our ocean is unmapped, unexplored.
Yeah,
80%.
Yeah, more than 80%.
Yeah, we haven't even scratched the surface.
But everyone's like, screw that. Let's just go off world and.
Well, so you say that, but do you realize how much ocean there is? Because I looked up and it was like the Bermuda Triangle just itself, that little tiny triangle, right?
Yeah.
Is 1,000,000 square miles.
Jesus. Wow.
I know. Ocean is inconceivably big.
It is.
1,000,000 miles.
Yeah, 1,000,000 square miles.
Well, and there's crush depth too, right? So you have that factor versus, I guess, going to another planet. But still, if another planet has an ocean, like, we just gonna ignore the ocean every time?
Do we?
Like,
don't we have some type of machine that could probably take that pressure?
Yeah, I think there are. I mean, there's unmanned machines all the time that can go down there. Yeah,
we could physically go down there ourselves. Dude.
I mean, just build a smart probe and just launch several of them. Of course, they'll probably collide with other shit. I don't know. It's just crazy. It's always been strange ever since I've come aware of that. Like, why don't we know more about our actual planet? Like, should we know our planet in and out before we go to another planet? Like, our findings could be very similar to other planets' findings as well. Like, Mars, I guess, had water at a certain time, but still there's a beneath the surface element, like what's going on down there, what kind of minerals, and we have in our backyard pretty much like a lot to explore that could unlock mysteries and more understanding of other worlds, how they work, and how you can find those answers easily too. But
Right.
just given that though, like, yeah, I would say it's very possible. And of course the magnetic field, like this Bermuda Triangle thing, yeah, the element is like maybe less mysterious. It's just more like, hey, that's just the nature of that certain, those points coming together, if you fly through it. But of course people do that now. They fly through it and drive a boat through it. So, and they've come back, it's heavily charted. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of missing things. You'll never probably be able to have everyone accept that, I guess, like, hey, it's just nature. It's nothing else going on. There's no city beneath it. It is cool to think that. And I'm not debunking that. Like, I'm not going to dive down there and find out for sure, but it's like, I don't know. There's just a lot of strange things in our world right now. I mean, UFOs are becoming more and more well known as, like, yeah, they exist. I mean, you got the Navy releasing photos and stuff and images, and I guess if you start seeing that, then it's like, well, maybe all this other mysterious stuff is true as well. Like, maybe something is going on, like the ocean we were just talking about, over 80%. Like, how do we not know there's an alien base down there? If their technology is so great, maybe they've created like an air bubble. I don't know. I mean,
maybe they were here before we were.
Yeah. Well, there's those theories too. Like, we didn't build the pyramids. We had help. Like, I don't know. I mean, if you look at the pyramids and how they were constructed, like, it is amazing they could do that back then. And then there's also the theory, like, we're all repeating ourselves. Like, technology peaked once before now. And it's just like how you gain all that technology and you lose it, and then you gain it again. I mean, I've heard that theory. I'm not saying it's true, but I mean, it's interesting, to think that.
Are we talking like a Battlestar Galactica type thing?
Sure. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, spoiler alert. Sorry.
Darn it.
Ah, shit.
You know what happened was, it was a bunch of parents who were upset at their kids for, like, never talking to them or looking up from their damn phones. They're like, let's just pull the plug. We're going to go back to square one here. Then they regretted it, and then they spent the rest of their lives trying to regain technology. So, I don't know. I mean, it's possible. Like, of course, UFOs don't necessarily mean alien aircraft. It's just unidentified. So,
unidentified, yeah.
if Roger's working on a little jet or something and he flies it, that's a UFO, right? So it's not necessarily like people should freak out, I think, about these UFOs. I know we're getting off the Bermuda topic, but, it's like, just look up what UFO means. It doesn't mean it's alien. It's just unknown.
Right.
You put a decal on something, on a Ford, and it's like, I don't know if that's a Ford or Nexus 6, right? So,
right.
There you go. That's a plug. That's a plug for Dave's marketing company.
No, it is both, because I drive an Edge.
Well, there you go.
Nexus 6 branding on it. So
how did I know that?
Edgy.
I channeled what car you drove. That's the mystery there, people.
That's terrible.
Did you say how deep that triangle was before? Because I was just looking at sub-crush depth, and estimates run from 2,400 to 3,000 feet. I think these are huge subs, so you can't just take like a little Fiesta, if you will, down there. That would crush you.
Okay, the deepest point in the Atlantic Ocean, the Milwaukee Depth, is located in the Bermuda Triangle. The Puerto Rico Trench reaches a depth of 27,493 feet.
Wow. Hold your breath.
Pretty deep.
Holy shit. Well, Mr. James Cameron, he set a record. He went 35,787 feet. So, why isn't he down there with his camera? Come on, James.
Right?
Shit.
So how deep did he go?
Over 35,000 feet.
Shit.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
You gotta have balls, man. Like, not huge balls because you'll float back up, but, decent size. Oh yeah, count me out. I wouldn't go that. Ooh, I maybe go 6 feet.
Yeah, the Mariana Trench. How deep is that? The maximum known depth is 36,000.
Ooh. Also, I didn't even think about this though, but like the deeper you go, it's probably hard to see, right? So it's probably impossible to find the wreckage of anything down there. It's black,
Right.
it's darkness. Like the deeper you go,
Some of that stuff's like been there for
oh yeah.
a long time. So
I mean, look at the Titanic; it's still there.
I gotta say that, like, I don't know if it's like, maybe it's just me, but like, wreckage at the bottom of the ocean always seems more creepy than stuff like on land.
Mm-hmm.
okay, I get what you're
You
saying.
mean like stuff
Yeah.
buried on
Yeah.
land? You're talking about?
Well, no, like if you came across like, a plane that had crashed
Yeah.
and it was still there, and it was like it'd been there for like 50 years, you're like, oh, look at this, an old plane. But if you were like under the water and then found like the same plane at the bottom of the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
there'd be something inherently more creepy about it.
Yeah, I get you though.
I
I
don't know
mean,
what it
because nature takes it back, kind of like it gets all rustic and
Mhm.
it's just dormant. It just lays dormant, and there's like freaking terrifying creatures down there too. You always picture a shark swimming out of one or something. I've seen it in movies, that's why. But yeah, no, I got you. I mean, yeah, just them touring the wreckage of the Titanic. I mean, that's creepy to me. It's intriguing, and I was always like, "Where's the bodies?" But I actually I read up on the bodies. They just disintegrate, pretty much deteriorate, and it's just ash. There's like nothing left. So that's why you find empty shoes and things like that. It's just
Right.
Yeah.
They just kind of all the pressure.
right.
Like,
Yep.
turns them to mush.
Ugh.
It's gross.
So yeah, that's why you never see
Mush.
bodies floating around. Which I always wondered, like, man, that'd be terrifying. Take a sub down there, like, oh my god. I was curious about the depth of the Titanic right now. It's 26,600 feet. Yeah, that's not as deep as the Triangle.
No, yeah, it's about twice that.
Wow. Yeah, that's why you can't obtain the wreckage. I mean, like I said, though, if it, you could see clear as day down there. Yeah, of course, you could see all kinds of crazy stuff. But I wonder if sonar would pick up on any objects down there. Maybe that's how they should tell people about the Triangle. Like, how deep this thing is. Like, we can't go down there and find it for you or prove to you, if there's a city down there or if it's just wreckage. I think it's still a mystery, honestly, but more of a natural mystery, you could say. You could take all the fantasy out of it, and it's just nature, man. What do you guys think? Do you think there's still some mysterious stuff there, or it's just nature?
I think it's a little bit of both,
There you go.
to be honest.
I can see that. I mean, like, yeah,
Yes.
over 80% of the ocean, we don't know what the hell's going on. So
I'm saying there's stuff out there we still aren't able to explain.
I think there's stuff we'll never be able to explain. I think that's just how it is. It's like that's what kind of drives people. I think to, they'll probably
I
never
don't
be
agree.
an
I don't
answer.
necessarily agree with that.
Really?
I think like I see it like science and magic are one, or ethereal or whatever, mystical
Mm-hmm.
stuff are one. It's just that it takes the science side longer
To prove it.
collect the data.
Yeah.
To prove it. Like,
Sure.
I mean, we have cloaking devices that make things invisible. Like, there was a time where man couldn't fly. Now we can technically fly,
Right.
So it's like these concepts are just kind of like, maybe they're embellished in the era that it's presented first.
Mm-hmm.
It's embellished.
Yeah.
And then when we figure out the science on how to prove it or make it so, yeah, you're like, oh, well, that makes sense, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's things, I always say, like, take the dumbest person and put them in a time period, I guess, when slowly Jesus walked the earth. And you take that person and put him in that time period, he or she instantly becomes the smartest person on earth.
Right. Or they'll think she's a witch or he's a witch.
Hey, bingo.
Burn him at the stake.
No, man, that's a deep cut, bro. You're like, man, that's a deep cut. Like, you probably want to put some alcohol in that. What kind of witchcraft is that?
What
Give me
is
that Jesus juice.
what is this called? A highball? Like, whoa.
Yes.
What's Pepsi? What's Coke? What about you, Dave? What do you think about this whole triangle thing?
Yeah, I think it's. I don't know. I don't think it's anything of anything. I think it's just kind of one of those kind of things people like to romance.
Yeah, gotcha. It's like a pickup line. Like, hey, I just got back from the triangle. I've been going for a long time. I'm looking for love. All the wrong places.
The triangle sounds like a really seedy bar. I don't know why.
Hey, that's an idea. That's an idea. Dave, you could open a bar.
Yeah, called the triangle, where people just go missing.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be in business for a long time.
There's a back door. So that's how you do
There's
it.
always a back door.
It's called back door.
All right, well, until next time, I'm Josh.
I'm Juan.
And I'm Dave.
Take care.
Yes.